Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Scott Jennings causes the entire CNN panel to completely melt down when he merely points out that CNN ultimately has lost the plot. Let's dive in.
Purchasing media specifically for propaganda. Do you hear why they're making that connection?
I mean, is the concern that certain media outlets would become propaganda arms of political ideologies? I mean, don't we already have that in this country at a large scale? I mean, also, I heard what you're saying about X. I saw a survey this week. It's now the most ideologically balanced user platform.
Scott,
of any platform.
stop. It's too early. I just sat down. I've only been here for 2
you're
minutes.
Gonna be
You
embarrassed
cannot
when I
continue
tweet
to
out
say
after the show, but
you
it's
cannot
true.
say that.
So-
That's not the case.
So
Who's
what
the
I-
source?
Source of that.
What I find, we've reported it on this network. And
It's
so-
not accurate, and you know it.
Look at this. The party ID among those who regularly use X/Twitter for news. Back in 2022, 65% of those who regularly use Twitter/X for news were Democrats. Just 31% were Republicans. Look at where we are today. Just a completely different picture. Now it's basically split between Democrats at 48%, Republicans at 47%. And what I should note, Mr. Berman, is this new overall makeup matches the overall electorate far better.
Okay, I'll let you make your
Scott,
statement.
can I
but my point is
can I
this.
reframe it a different way? Because the site changed radically, right? So whether you think the voices it is somehow more balanced now, that's fine. But no doubt Musk's influence is profound, and that you open it up and now you're there with his opinion, and he is now part of this administration. So does anyone else think that there should be this greater concern about billionaires purchasing media companies?
Okay. Would you be worried if Bill Gates controlled MSNBC?
No, because he's sane.
Because MS in MSNBC
it was MS.
comes from Microsoft. It was a partnership between Microsoft and NBC way back in the 1990s, back when Microsoft was under investigation by Bill Clinton's DOJ for monopoly. I don't remember anybody panicking over MSNBC back then.
No, they definitely did. But yeah, continue. Well, like Fox was launching, MSNBC was
And it's
launching.
still
The
here.
cable news network was shifting. The landscape
But
was shifting.
isn't the issue that the left has gotten so used to controlling almost all institutional information distribution arms in this country that when one little piece of it, whether it's X or MSNBC or anything else, gets taken away, the panic is so outrageous. I mean, that's how used to the left is having control of all of it.
I don't think that that's an accurate assessment.
Scott, keep preaching truth to power, okay? Scott, don't ever change. CNN, you need to keep this man in his position as is, because if he leaves your network, there is no reason for CNN anymore. The whole point and purpose of CNN now is to atone for its sins, and the sins of CNN's are many. First off, how it was conceived. It was conceived by Ted Turner, and Ted Turner is a billionaire, by the way, who tried to make Atlanta amazing, and then all the good stuff that happened to Atlanta happened after he faded into the limelight. So, yes, CNN was his brainchild, and it's terrible. All right, it's genuinely terrible. There is nothing redeeming about this network other than it's shown in Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, which I'm guessing at this point is about half of its actual viewership. As someone who grew up just outside of Atlanta, yes, I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I had to grow up in the shadow of this ridiculous news network that keeps on taking itself seriously, because it hasn't been a serious news network in about a decade. Ever since Donald Trump started calling it out for fake news, it has slowly started to die a little bit inside, because the only people that pay attention to it, again, outside of the passengers that go in and out of Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, are rich white liberals. And I harp on this all the time, but we're seeing this time and time again. Rich white liberals are the only people that listen to people on MSNBC, CNN, or any of the traditional cable news networks. And when I say traditional, I'm also talking about ABC, NBC, and of course CBS. Fox has been a new channel that came in late 80s, early 90s, and really started to make a name for itself. Mainly because they broke the mold and could actually entertain people while giving actual news. And so that's been a thing for about 30 years, and these other networks just haven't caught up yet. And so, even when a billionaire like Bill Gates tries to buy out MSNBC, which he kind of did back in the 90s. Everyone did freak out very briefly, and then they realized, well, everything's okay. He didn't change anything. He just wanted to invest in something. That's all that Elon Musk is doing with Twitter, and they're losing their minds over this. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, because I remember 2 years ago, I had no interest in the cesspool that was Twitter. And the CEO at the time had made it into just this terrible echo chamber that tried to cancel as many people as possible. And now that the old CEO tried to make Blue Sky, the same thing's happening again. History repeats itself. In this case, Elon Musk buys out Twitter, and all of a sudden, it's one of the better places to get your news. The algorithm is better. It's definitely better than Facebook. The amount of garbage that I get on that app is terrible. It's definitely better than Instagram, and of course, Instagram is owned by Facebook. Zuckerberg doesn't exactly know what he's doing, or rather he does, and he's still trying to police some speech out there, even though he's trying to change his ways. Same thing with Jeff Bezos when he tried to launch Amazon Prime. So you have all these billionaires trying to control speech. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is the only guy that seems to care about a free and equitable society, and that's exactly why he backs Donald Trump, and particularly at the 11th hour in the election, because he was still on the fence. Elon Musk, deep down, is a centrist. Nothing more, nothing less. He doesn't really like the left wing. He definitely doesn't like the right wing, but he does like an honest, earnest debate. He does like an honest, earnest platform, and that's something that CNN is not used to. Because ultimately, I've harped on rich white liberals a lot, but the other thing that I harp on all the time is the education system. The origins of woke come from the Pacific Northwest. And if you look at the history of the Pacific Northwest, there were a lot of the third wave Germans and a lot of ex-Confederates that settled up in that region, and it made things very, very interesting politically. And then these academics got up there and started to slowly change the culture. And that sort of ideology has permeated, and it's now had its tendrils and tentacles in all of modern education systems in America. And that is slowly being rooted out because it's a weed that on one hand was a reaction to bad policies, on the other hand has been so terrible for the United States that it has absolutely ruined 2 entire generations, and they're trying on a third, but they're failing. There's been a cascade failure of the woke left, and we're starting to see it in real time. And y'all, I'm here for it. That is exactly what this meltdown is about. Because the left used to control most of media. They used to control most of education. They've always controlled Hollywood. And it makes me wonder, do we need to have another House of Un-American Activities Committee? Do we need to really reanimate and resurrect the corpse of McCarthy here? Because that would solve a lot of problems, and it would probably give us good entertainment out of Hollywood. We're currently having to deal with Gladiator 2 and Wicked, and I'm already tired of this nonsense. Meanwhile, the movie Twisters, which was a sequel to an already sort of campy movie, that one went off like gangbusters because there was no woke nonsense. This nonsense has permeated, again, throughout our media systems, throughout our education, throughout most of our entertainment, and it needs to be rooted out. We deserve good news, we deserve good entertainment, we deserve good government, and they have taken over all three, and it's time to start ripping it out, root and stem. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.